higher, like 4 or 5, it'll send you an email that says, hey, this person rated you really high, you should send them an email. So I sent Jessica an email, and we started emailing back and forth, and it was right before spring break, and she was coming down to Corpus to take Doug
to visit the grandparents.
To visit the grandparents. So that week goes by, and I send her an email. I said, how was your trip? And she said, awesome. And then I didn't hear from her for 2 months at all. So then all of a sudden, her picture shows back up in the quick match, and I went, well, that's weird. That's the same girl that was, because she was wearing like a Harry Potter scarf. So I said, well, I'll try it one more time. So I rated her again, and all of a sudden it popped back up. Hey, you rated each other 4 out of 5 stars. So I sent her a message and said, hey, I don't know if you remember me. We talked a while back. And she's like, well, what did we talk about? And I said, well, we talked about Scrubs and something else. And she goes, I vaguely remember that, but I don't have any. I have none of your emails in my inbox.
Somehow there was a whole time in there where everything from that part of the inbox just disappeared. I don't know if I hit a wrong button or what happened, because I went back and tried to look, and I couldn't find a single one of them.
So then we decided to meet at Topgolf.
Yeah, so we exchanged a few more emails, and Daniel decided, I better actually meet her before she forgets about me again. So our first date was at Topgolf. Where is Topgolf?
In Dallas, and we went and played. We were playing miniature golf, and then about the 3rd hole, we started talking about how we both. I have this really bad habit of when I watch a movie, I will immediately turn around and start watching the director's commentary and watch the entire movie over again. And it's kind of a weird thing, and I've never met anybody else who does that, and so I said that, and Jessica's eyes light up. She goes, I do the same thing.
I do that too. My friends think I'm crazy. They just want to see the movie, but I want to see the commentary and all the features and things.
So then and then we both have there's a musician out there that we both have an affection for. And it just, as we finish playing golf, we go to have dinner, and I am thinking, okay, like every other date I've ever been on, you have dinner, everyone goes home. So we get done eating, and then she goes, okay, now what are we doing?
Well, it was like 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock or something. So I said, okay, what's next? Because I wanted to keep, talking and hanging out. And then I think I stumped you.
Yeah, I had no plans, and so I was like, well, Mockingbird Station. And we drove to Mockingbird Station and had Starbucks. And
so when we were at Starbucks, I excused myself to go to the restroom, and apparently Sweet Daniel here.
I told the barista that I was on the best date of my entire life.
That's
So
very sweet.
And so then I go to the restroom, and the barista was like all kind of.
Yeah, she was real giggly, and like, she was just like, how are you? I'm good. So it was really awkward, and then later you told me that you said that, and I said, oh, I don't believe that.
Yeah, for our second, we went back to the same place for our second date. And so we go back, that barista still working.
She was there, and she goes, hi! And I said, did he really tell you that he was on the best date of his life? She said, he did. It was so cute.
I have a follow-up question. Did I hear you correctly? I want to give you a chance to revise and extend your remarks. Did I hear you say you rated my daughter only 4 out of 5 stars?
I think I was
It doesn't
both
tell
times,
me.
it just says either 4 or 5.
That was the system that did that, right, Daniel?
Right.
Well, obviously, if you're using this faulty system, something's wrong.
That's funny.
It's too late, Jerry.
I think we both admitted that we rated each other 5, didn't we?
Yeah.
Because I was like, yeah, because she was wearing a Harry Potter scarf, and I'm a big fan of Harry Potter. And she had this goofy little smile. So.
Well, thank you.
And you actually made the Harry Potter scarf, right?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Any more questions?
And then a month
Come on,
later.
let's keep it going.
You did good.
Yeah. I think so.
She did too, didn't she?
Yes.
Isaiah, do you have a question for them, sweetie? You want to ask them something?
Some more?
No? Marco? Angel? Victor?
Marco, stop dominating the conversation.
Yeah.
I want to know what is one of Daniel's pet peeves? Like the one that really, really gets him. What would you say?
I'm trying to think of.
Yeah, just one.
It's hard to eliminate, isn't it?
doesn't love the way I drive. Apparently I'm a Corpus driver, so that's a bummer.
Is that good or bad?
Well,
What's the corpus drive?
I'm a
Apparently,
Corpus driver, I want to know.
to be able to merge,
Corpus drivers don't merge.
no, they come to a dead stop
Oh.
and then continue. So in Corpus, you learn to sort of, that you have, if you're exiting, you have quite a while, because all the cars behind you are going to come to a dead stop at the yield sign. But then when you come back to Dallas, they don't do that.
You're dead.
So in Dallas, you drive like a Corpus driver, is what you're saying?
But I drive like a Corpus driver now. Until I get to Rockport, and those people, that's because that's where everyone retires, and so they forgot that red lights mean stuff. And
What, Daniel, what is your favorite dessert?
my favorite dessert? Anything with peanut butter. But I also love tiramisu, and I'm pretty much anything. Cake, pies.
Who's gonna do most of the cooking in the family?
Oh, that would probably be Jessica, because she's a phenomenal cook.
I hope it's me. I like
I
to
burn
cook.
water.
Jessica, when and how did you know that Daniel was the one?
Interesting.
And then I want Daniel to answer
I
that one
had
too.
an inkling pretty much during our first date. After we drank coffee, we sat and just talked for probably a couple hours. And he was telling me stories about when he was younger. And something he said just kind of resonated with me. And I was like, I think I'm going to marry this boy. And then I thought, well, it's only our first date. Don't be crazy. So, we went on more dates. But I think the first time that I kind of knew was on our first date.
And mine was the third date when we were buying a gift for my cousin's graduation. And I am a big fan of bocce ball. And Jessica goes, well, I have a bocce ball court in my backyard. So why don't we have dinner, we can go home and play bocce ball. And I was really, really, really excited. So we get home, and then the bocce ball court has been mowed over or something. But her parents are on the way home, and I could meet them too. So, and I was completely
And we've
okay.
still never played bocce ball.
Y'all need to come back for that.
Yeah.
And to be fair, it was like 1,000 degrees that
Yeah.
day, so who wanted to be outside?
Yeah, we hadn't played because it was too hot.
But
so
the
we
fact
hadn't
that I was
played.
completely not worried about meeting her parents, and was already pretty determined that she was the one, even being fooled by, I allowed myself to be fooled by bocce ball.
And so the other part of that story is, I called and I said, Daniel's here, you guys want to meet him? And they were on their way home from church, and so Dad said, well, we're stopping at Sonic. Do you guys want anything? And I said, I want a Diet Dr. Pepper. And I said, Daniel, what do you want? He said Diet Dr. Pepper. My dad said, he's a good man.
Tell him how he and your dad are like. The ways that he and your dad are like.
First of all, they're both obsessed with getting a soda machine.
Is there any calendar day that's important to both?
Yeah.
Oh, they have the same birthday, November 7th, different years.
Thank goodness.
They order the same thing at most restaurants. We'll go somewhere where we haven't been before, and Daniel will look at the whole menu, and then he'll pick the exact same thing that my dad always gets when we go there.
What's the Outback appetizer store?
Seared ahi tuna. And so then, they both have this habit of, so they love this seared ahi tuna. So the first time we went, Dad had it, he said, oh, this is great. He asked the waitress, oh, how do they prepare it? And what are these sauces? And he just has a whole conversation about it. So I'm like, ugh, embarrassing. So I know everything there is to know about this tuna. So then Daniel and I, months later, go to Outback, and he orders the seared ahi tuna, and then he stops the waitress and says, how do they prepare this? What are these sauces? It was like the creepiest deja vu. I said, you are just like my dad.